After watching this video, we will know the basics of how to discover a story in a person's detail page. It is the discovery experience that changes hearts. How to standardize dates and places and enter names correctly to enable more accurate computer searches. Prophets have said it's our responsibility to become acquainted with our ancestors. Elder Foster said we want everyone to have that discovery experience because that is what changes their hearts, which happens through the spirit of Elijah. President Nelson tells us that the spirit of Elijah is the Holy Ghost testifying of the divine nature of the family. Can you see the missionary connection? Part of the discovery experience happens through memories such as pictures and stories. But even without pictures and stories, we can become acquainted with our ancestors by studying a person's detail page. Note the example in the booklet. Consider Mary Elsa Johnson's circumstances, such as her birth date in 1834, and when studying the dates, we discover that she was married when she was only 13. There has to be a story here. In looking further, we see that Mary was only 12 when her mother died. That meant, being the oldest of 8 children, she now has to take on her mother's responsibilities, including caring for 7 younger siblings at the age of 12. She was born in Kirtland, Ohio, and lived through many of the hardships of the early saints. She married in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and 7 years later moved to Nephi, Utah, and with her husband raised 15 of their own children. When I see she died in Nephi in 1912, I realize that my grandfather would have known her, and being close to my grandfather, this provides me a direct connection to her and a better appreciation for her hard life. And yet she did it with no Walmarts, no minivans, electricity, indoor plumbing, or air conditioning. So why do I complain so much? Notice other helps on the page, such as memories that contain pictures and stories and other documents. Attached sources we can look at for more detailed information about this person's life. Make sure to carefully check these previously attached sources for information that may not have been added to our ancestors' person detail page. If we find new information in the source, edit or add it to their page. Since the personal detail page is where we do most of our work on a person, let's look at other features on the person detail page to help us. On the right side below Research Helps, we see that there may be data problems, which shows any standardization problems, possible duplicates, and other data problems such as the parents being born after the children, or children being born after the parent's death. We may also find record hints. These are sources that the FamilySearch computer system has sent to us and believes with 97% certainty the source belongs to this person. We will cover attaching these sources in a later video. Let's take a closer look at these. First, standardizing dates and places and entering names correctly. To explain this, I'll click on Edit. Notice we have a display date field and a display place field. These fields show the information as it was entered. We also have a standardized date and place field. These fields come from a standardized database used by the FamilySearch computers. Utilizing a standard date or place will produce more accurate searches for our ancestors. The proper format for a date is day, month, and year, with the month spelled out. The format for a place in the U.S. is city, county, state, then country. These red exclamation marks tell us FamilySearch does not have standardized data for this field. For instance, we will click to edit the death field, which shows the exclamation mark for the death place. Under Standardize Event Place, it says No Standard is selected. Click on No Standard is selected, then select the correct place from the drop-down list. Note this information under the standardized place helps us select the correct place. For example, are we looking for a city of Wellsville, located in Cache Valley since 1896, or a town name when Utah was still a territory? Since this person died in 2002, we will select this one. Now notice that neither of these fields is displaying the standardized information in the display field, or what we entered. But also be aware that these two fields do not have to match for the computer to see the standardized data, and clicking on the standardize event does not change the display field. If there is a green check mark by Standardize, it means FamilySearch computer sees standardized data. If for clarity we want to have our display field mirror the Standardize field, simply edit the field, even just by placing a space at the end, then select the correct standardized data and the displayed field will be changed. Enter standardized as the reason statement for the change. To recap, if there's a red exclamation mark by a field, FamilySearch does not have acceptable data in the standardized field. If the date or place does not have a red exclamation mark by the field, such as Bonita, California, or 16 March 1947, it means FamilySearch has information in the standardized field, but it does not exactly match the display field. But remember, it does not need an exact match. Lastly, if next to the displayed place field we see this map marker, the computer sees a standardized place that exactly matches what has been typed into the displayed field. FamilySearch prefers data to be as correct and as specific as possible, so we don't want to lose any specific information just to have it match a standardized place. So in this example, while the place is correct and standardized, we may also know the name of the cemetery where he was buried. To add that information, we first select the standardized place, then clicking at the beginning of the line and insert Oak Grove Cemetery. Then select the top choice. If we select the bold standardized place, it will change our displayed field. Notice that when we select the top place, first, it still shows the field is standardized, and second, even though we do not have the map marker, it is standardized. Not having the map marker just indicates the two fields are not identical due to the addition of the cemetery name, which is okay. Entering names in the correct format. An easy way to find how to correctly enter names is to go to Help and search for Names, which will show a useful article entitled Entering Names in Family Tree. Some important things to know about entering names are to use the birth name only. Do not use quotation marks, parentheses, underscores, slashes, or other invalid characters in the field. Do not use the word or between the names. In this example, the given birth name is shown as Anton or Tony in quotes. In this case, we will keep the Anton as the birth name and add Tony as a nickname under an alternate name in the Other Information section. To do that, click on Add Information, Alternate Name, and click to select Nickname and enter their name. Entering information in the Other section adds searchable data to help others find this person when they do a computer search. It also helps the computer find more record hints and duplicates for this person due to the added information.